Hello, my name is Tom. I'm a senior teacher at Changle. I've been at Changle for 7 months now, and I am from Cornwall in the UK.
Hello, I'm Raz. I'm from Cambridge in the UK. I've been at Changle for about 6 months and a total of 18 months with York. It's quite relaxing. It's away from the noise of a major city.
Very peaceful. There's a lot of tea shops, there's a lot of wine shops that I regularly visit.
Tom's a regular at a wine shop, but it's a really relaxed atmosphere.
More of a family atmosphere than the city life you get in Fuzhou, which is quite nice. We've got the beach 20 minutes down the road, loads of mountains around us. Sometimes we take the TAs and the branch comes out, go for a mountain walk or visit one of the TAs' homes. Yeah, it's a very homely atmosphere where we can do a lot in such a small space.
In Changle, we found a lot of locals that have lived abroad. So when we meet them, we're maybe sharing experiences from outside of China. But it's always interesting conversations with them.
I've met a few. A person called E actually went to my hometown, which was quite surprising. And then there's a few others. There's quite a few that go to Canada and America. We've got some good Chinese friends that have lived over there. One's lived over there for 17 years and came back to Changle. Well, there's Bruce, who's been to Brighton, Manchester.
That's right.
Everywhere. One of the best things about Changle is all the Chinese people you meet, you sort of become friends with quite quick. Which is nice. Which I don't. Did you get that in Fuzhou?
A little bit, not too much, but here a lot of the time it's with parents as well. Because the parents have lived abroad too, so you start conversing with them in English and you're just like, that's pretty impressive.
The pros, one pro I would say is getting to know Chinese people a lot easier, becoming their friends, so experiencing the local culture rather than the day-to-day Western style life.
Yeah, it's easy to get gravitated towards a comfort zone in Fuzhou because there's so many more teachers, so there's so many more foreign people, and you sort of tend to mingle in the same places, at least I found. But in Changle, even though it's smaller, you're still exploring, and it is easier to explore as well. Like Tom practically walks everywhere. But it's not too far. Like anywhere you want to go, you can just step outside and 20 minutes later you're there. But I think for one of the cons might be like it doesn't have everything that you might necessarily want, but it's got everything that you need. So if there is something that Changle doesn't have, it might be like, oh, I've got to go to Fuzhou now, but it's less than an hour, either by taxi or metro, so it's not too bad. Yeah. Being in a classroom, first of all, is an experience within itself. So you learn the structure or the foundation of the structure. But the more you teach, the more you evolve your strategies or your style. And a lot of the points they cover in Teach First, with regards to the actual teaching, we already do here, but they explore the science behind why we do it. So when I'm reading articles about modeling or behavior management or sequencing, structuring, it's like, yeah, I can see myself doing that, I've done that, and then they're like, this is why it's useful, and this is how the kid reacts to it, or the student reacts to it. So it's kind of like having a bit of a head start. You've experienced it, you've been there, you've dealt with good kids, bad days, incredible lessons, not so great lessons. And so Teach First have a period where they warm you up to these experiences. So if anything, it's just a refresher course with them before I start teaching, because I've been here for a year and a half. Yeah. I think Changle's more suited for a mature mind or mature personality. I mean, not so much that there's nothing wrong with living in Fuzhou, but in terms of teachers that have come fresh out of university, they might want a bit more excitement. They want, sort of hanging out with other foreigners. I mean, I'll give it up to Tom. I don't think I could have done Changle in my first year, but having done Fuzhou and coming to Changle the second year, it's like I've experienced two cities, but I've appreciated both in their own light. So that's that. But for teaching,
I think it's sort of similar everywhere because you all follow the same philosophy, but it's more about sort of you have a different relationship with the students because you're quite likely to see them outside of school, walking around, which is always quite nice to see. I always get super excited, more excited than the student if I see one of my kids walking around. I just think it's all good in Changle. Come to Changle.